What it do, YouTube family? It's your boy Ray here, and I'm coming back at y'all with another video. Today, right now, we have a load of steel beams going on out the good old Pennsylvania. Hanging off a little at the back here, but I'm still legal because it's only 50 feet. I can have, I got 5 inches of playroom back here hanging off the back if need be, because the trailer is only 48, so I got up to 53. This right here is only 50, so it's only hanging 2 feet off the back. I know it's been a couple weeks, guys, since I got on here with a vlog or whatever, and that's mainly because I've been trying to figure out a way to make my content a little more creative, man, because I know hauling the same thing, vlogging the same thing every week can get a little bit dry, a little bit boring, a little bit repetitive. So, that's why I try to fit in when I get like different loads. So, just add different content. And, like I said, I'm trying to figure out a way to be a little more creative with my content, because I'm still figuring my way out around this YouTube thing. But the main thing, another thing is also being timing, because these past few weeks, man, it's been like crunch time almost every day. And you know what I'm saying, sometimes you don't have a lot of time for that, and to get a alright. So yeah, for some reason my video cut off back then as I was recording. But yeah, like I was saying, I'm trying to figure out a way to make my content a little more creative, because I know like my loads kind of like are repetitive every week. Like, I'm saying, I'm hauling lumber, shingles, or plywood, some form of either lumber or shingles. So I didn't want to keep creating the same, like, remixing vlogs, the same vlogs over and over every week, because I know that kind of be repetitive and dry and kind of lose the audience a little bit. The thing is, though, the few loads that I have had in between time has been at places that's I either been pressing time, like I'm saying, I've been pressing time when I picked it up, or, I'm saying, they really big on safety and really didn't want people using their phones in the loading areas and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm about to go ahead and get down the road a little bit. Once I get to my destination, or closer to my destination, however far I can make it tonight, I will get back on here and tell y'all how this past like month or almost 2 months been for me out here on this road. Be right back. Alright, so I decided to go ahead and finish making the video, because as I was about to pull off, I realized that I had only sit here maybe like another 45-ish minutes until I got my time back. And I really need that time back, because this drive I got to make is just under 7 hours, right? I think it's like 6.5, something like that. And on my clock, my work shift clock had caught up with my drive clock, so I had only about 5.5 hours left on my work shift clock, and I needed to get my time back, because on my drive clock I have just under 7. I had 6 hours and 50 minutes, so I definitely need all that to get me as close as I can get tonight to my destination, which is gonna set me up good tomorrow, because tomorrow is Friday, and I'm going home. So what I want to talk about is, what's been going on with me. I'm saying, the past couple of months or whatever. Right now, I just hit my 5-month mark. I'm a little over 5 months in with the company, and I'm a little over 35,000 miles at this point. 35,000 safe miles, that is. No accidents, no incidents. Had not nobody bumper off, hadn't hit no cars, none of that, no load claims, none of that. So I'm just keep being safe, keep doing what I'm doing, so I can keep that up. You know what I'm saying? But since I've been with the company over these little 5 months, I still feel the same about them since I came in day one. I still don't have any complaints or anything. I still think it's a great company. Actually, I recommend this company to anybody that's coming in to trucking that don't mind doing flatbed, because overall, I think it's pretty great. The pay scale. Well, before we talk about the pay, the training is great. They don't just rush drivers in and throw them out down the road. You know what I'm saying? They take their time with you. They make sure that they put in a quality driver behind the wheel before they just let you get out down the road. And then next up, that pay structure. The way we get paid is percentage pay. Well, we can get paid mileage too, but most drivers here with the company decide to do a percentage pay, because on average, you get paid more by getting paid a percentage of each load than getting paid mileage pay, right? So that's another good thing I like about it. And we what we call an employee-owned company. So we have an employee stock ownership program, and after you get so much tenure with the company, you get shares vested into the company. And that's if you decide to be trucking for a long time, that's really good money on the back end, because that add up as the company do well. There's more money you making, for later on down the road. So that's another thing I like. There's not many companies that I've seen out here that has that pay structure, or it's not many of them that I've seen out here that has that ESOP. You know, so that's a couple of the things I like about the company. Now, the things that I've learned since I've been out here my little 5 months, or since lunchtime, as I like to say, is that time management is a big thing in trucking. Time management is one of the most important things in trucking because every minute of every day count while you out here. Every minute wasted. You know what I'm saying? You waste too much time over here that can really throw you off for getting that load delivered tomorrow or whenever it got to be delivered. And if you're a person like me that go home every weekend, every minute of every day really, really, really counts because I'm gonna make an example for you, right? Let's say you drop a load off on Monday, and you get behind on Monday. That's gonna throw you off behind your time for Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and so on and so forth. And now when Friday come around, it's supposed to be time for you to go home. Now instead of you getting home at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you might not be getting home to 9 o'clock in the evening or midnight. And that's not always. You can manage the time as much as you can, but some things that just sometimes things happen that's not in your control. But if you manage your time wisely, that really sets you up for success out here. Just being out here on the yard or being at a loading area and shucking and jiving with a driver for 30 minutes. That's 30 minutes you could have been securing a load and you could have been 30 minutes ahead down the road. So that's one of the most biggest takeaways I got is time management. That can make or break you out here. Don't get me wrong, I've made that mistake. Let me see. I think it was the second week I was in my truck. I was at a lumber yard. I was loading, and I had my load pretty much almost secured or whatever. And then this guy, he pulled up beside me, and he had like a Kenworth W900. So I compliment him. I was like, "Hey man, that's a nice truck or whatever." And then that one thing led to another. Next thing we was out there having a conversation for over about an hour and a half. And then that kind of threw my time off because I had just enough time left on my clock for the day to make it a little bit down the road to set me up for the next day. But by the time I sat out there for that little hour and a half chopping it up, shucking and jiving or whatever, now I really didn't even have the time that I had left on my clock. It really wasn't even worth leaving that shipper that I was at. So I had to end up staying there for that night and getting on the road the next day, which kind of ended up turned out bad for me that following day because I ended up, that's a long story, but it ended up turning out bad for me because I ended up not making it to my appointment the next day on time because I didn't manage my clock correctly, pretty much, long story short. But yeah, that's one of the biggest things is time management. But when I say time management, I don't mean being a rush out here because while time management is important, taking your time with everything and being safe is also another key factor. Taking your time. Don't try to rush out of shippers and receivers. Don't try to rush and get that load secured because with flatbedding especially, one missed piece, one missing part can really mess you up. Most of the crazy things I've seen out here while I've been out here on the road, drivers getting into accidents, drivers having load shift, drivers having loads fall off of their truck. Most of that stuff that I've seen since I've been out here is due to the fact of drivers not taking their time with things. It's been a couple times. Well, there's been a few instances where I was going down the road and I seen where a driver had a load shift, and I was like, man, I bet if that driver threw one or two more straps in the right place, or threw another chain here or there, he wouldn't be in that situation right now. But I'm pretty sure he was rushing out the yard. And things like that can really happen to you out here. I was coming down the highway one day and I saw a guy. I think it was a Western Express flatbed driver. You know, not to bash their company or anything, but we was out there on 77 in West Virginia, and he was parked alongside the road. He had a coil that had shifted, and when I'm saying I'm riding by, I'm looking at the load, and he was missing about a chain and a strap that he should have had thrown on that coil. And I was just, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, man, if this guy had just spent, 5 more minutes, he wouldn't be in this situation right now. But bad things can happen to you when you in a hurry out here in trucking. You want to manage your time wisely, but you also want to take your time to make sure you're doing things right. Also, another big thing when it comes to taking your time out here, what I see that mess drivers up is trying to take shortcuts and trying to just get there fast all the time. You know what I'm saying? Getting there fast isn't the most important thing. Arriving there safe, arriving there in one piece, arriving there incident and accident free is the biggest thing. Now, I know I sound like I work for somebody's safety department, but when I'm saying these things, but I'm really just telling the truth. I'm really just telling the truth. I've seen guys out here that end up on non-truck routes, going across bridges that they're not supposed to be going across. They trailer got stuck in a ditch because they following these Google Maps, because they looked at their truck GPS, and the truck GPS told them, oh shit, it's gonna take you 5.5 hours to get there, and Google Maps is telling them, oh, it's only gonna take you 4 hours and 45 minutes to get there. So they like, hey, I'm trying to save 45 minutes, so I'm trying to save 30 minutes, and now they end up on this non-truck route or somewhere they're not supposed to be, or they end up stuck alongside of the road, all because they were trying to save 20 or 30 minutes. Now they stuck in a bad spot, and now it's about to take them another hour, 2 hours to get unstuck or unfuck themselves, all because they were trying to save 20 minutes. So when it come down to it, situations like that is not worth it, man. Like, I come across a lot of guys that use Google Maps out here, and I just say, hey, best luck to you. Now, I do use Google Maps as a reference, but I don't follow Google Maps blindly. Like, I will use Google Maps to, kind of get a reference to what roads I need to be on, because my truck GPS isn't the best when it comes down to very detailed spots on certain roads or whatever. And, there are certain times where you can use Google Maps to go on a certain route, but I don't follow Google Maps blindly, stuff like that with guys in a rush. That's how guys get messed up out here. Yeah, that's been my biggest takeaway since I've been out here on the road, is taking your time with things and managing your time properly, and you're gonna ride there safe. Now, another thing that I come to realize out here is that you can try to be as efficient as possible as you want to when it comes to your time, but the shippers and receivers really ultimately affect how your week is gonna go. Like, you might be doing everything right, you might be on time, but all it takes is that one shipper or receiver to get you there, and then you spend 2, 3, 4 hours sitting there waiting to be loaded or unloaded, and then that can throw the rest of your day off and the rest of your week off. So that's one of the things that I kind of dislike out here is, how long those shippers and receivers take sometime, because it really can throw your whole week off. And sometimes they don't even pay you detention pay. Or some places don't even offer detention pay, and it be the very ones that don't offer detention pay that usually take the longest. But that's neither here nor there. But everything has been everything, guys. The pay has been pretty good. Pay been pretty alright. It's not. I'm not big money grip. I'm not rocking around here. Making $100K a year, nothing like that yet. But it's pretty constant, pretty stable income. And I really, like I said, I really don't have any complaints about it. Well, guys, I ended up screwing myself over, man. Didn't end up making it to my destination tonight. I screwed myself over big time. Had to end up stopping out here in I think it was like Northeast Maryland or something like that, and shutting it on down for tonight. And it was when I left the shipper, I had just enough time to make it to my destination. I probably would have had maybe 30-ish minutes to spare, depending on how traffic was, right? So I left there, and a couple things happened. First thing, I had to fuel up, right? And I usually don't like filling up when I'm pressing for time, because in my head, if I pull into a truck stop, I automatically in my head deduct 30 minutes from my time. If I don't have 30 minutes to spare, I usually keep going. But today was different because I had just around maybe 300 miles left on my tank, and the trip I was going to my destination was probably a little over 300 miles. So I didn't want to stretch my tank all the way down like that, because that happened to me about 2 weeks ago, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, where, you know what I'm saying, I was pressing time because I had something holding me back that morning, and I ran my tank all the way down trying to make it to my destination, and it had got so bad that my truck was starting to stutter, like trying to run out of diesel or whatever. So I was so scared that day. I was like, man, I'm never letting this happen again. Let my tank get that low. So I had to stop for fuel, and they ended up taking me, I was there for probably about like a little over 20 minutes or so. Then once I got back on the highway, I ended up taking the wrong exit. Like once I got right there near DC, I ended up taking the wrong exit. So I ended up having to pass through the heart of DC. And it took me forever, it seemed like, to get back on the highway. Like the detour was maybe like a 15-mile detour. But of course, when you're going through the city, 15 miles could take you 45 minutes, you feel me? So that's what ended up happening. Like, it took me forever to get back to 95. So once I got back out here, I had just a little over 2 hours left on my clock to drive. And as a matter of fact, I had 2 hours and 20 minutes left to drive, and I was probably approximately about 2 hours and 45 minutes away. If I wanted to, I probably really could have tried to press it and get there, but I didn't want to like run out of time trying to get there, because I didn't know what traffic was going to look like. And a couple months ago, I ran over my drive clock, and I had an uncomfortable conversation with safety, and I didn't want it to happen again. So that's what ended up happening. That's why I ended up not making it tonight. Right now I'm about 81 miles out, which is probably about an hour and a half or so. And, you know, I'm going to have to finish that journey up in the morning. Luckily, I got a split, so I'm only going to have to sit here for like 7 hours until I get some time back, and then I'm going to go ahead and keep pressing on. Luckily, I already do have me a load scheduled for tomorrow. It's picking up maybe like an hour or so from where my drop-off is tomorrow, so at least I already know I got that and don't have to sit around and wait for a load before I'm able to head back home. It's unfortunate, but like I said earlier in the video, every minute of every day count. You know what I'm saying? If you mess up somewhere, that can really cost you big time, and that's what it ended up costing me tonight, was messing up my clock. You know, every minute of every day count. But, you know, I ain't complaining too much. Won't beat myself up about it too much. I really was beating myself up though. As I was rolling through DC, man, I was pissed off at myself. I was punching the air. I was like, man, damn, I really could have made it tonight. Because I always like parking up at the shipper not the shipper. I always like parking up at receivers when I can, because it saves you a lot of time in the morning. Like, for example, if I was there tonight, then I wouldn't have to waste an hour and a half driving there tomorrow. I could just creep in, drop that, be one of the first trucks they unload in the morning. Boom, get over to my next spot by 10 o'clock, and then by noon, I could be headed on back to the cribbo, right? But, you know, it is what it is. At least I made it to where I am safe, you know what I'm saying, accident-free, and, you know, we go press on. So what I'm about to do right now is about to go ahead and get myself together. We'll get my things together, go in there and catch me a hot shower, and prepare myself for in the morning. And I'll keep y'all updated once I get there. Alright, y'all, so it is the next day, and I finally made it over here. I got here like 9:05 this morning. Right now it's just about 12:30, and they just not starting to unload my truck. But this is what I deal with week by week. This is what I've been dealing with for the past almost 4 weeks. Every single week for like the past 4 weeks, I get held up somewhere. And this is probably like the second longest. This is about the second longest. I think like 2 weeks ago I sat somewhere almost like a little over 3 hours, almost 4 hours too, trying to get unloaded, and it caused me to miss a load for the day. Luckily today I already got another load planned already, but the thing is that it's Friday, and you know, I'm supposed to be headed home, so I still gotta go drive another hour. I got a deadhead about an hour to go pick up a load that's gonna take me back home. And right now I'm out here in Pennsylvania, just outside of Philly, and I gotta go back down to Virginia, so that's over a 6-hour drive, and probably gonna be dang on there like 7.5 by the time I account for traffic or whatever. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. This is one of the things I hate though, because some places you do get detention for, but even with detention, it still don't be worth it, because you waste 2 or 3 hours and then get like a little chunk change, but they don't fully compensate for the time that you miss, and especially today, to like a day like today. And this location on Madison today, they don't even like offer detention pay. So I decided I wasted 3 hours and won't even get compensated for it. But you know, it is what it is. You know, we're gonna just take it to the chin and keep on trucking. You know. Yeah, just gonna take it to the chin. Let's see how long they take me. The guy I don't know what they were doing. They still hadn't even touched my truck yet. The dude, he just pulled me in good. You see back here what's going on. Yeah, I don't know what they got going on. Yeah, they hadn't even got me unloaded yet. That's what it is, guys. That's what it is, man. I think the next thing I want to talk about though is some of my struggles out here in trucking. One of my weaknesses out here in trucking that I struggle with is eating and working out. Now, I do eat, but I might eat 1 or 2 times a day. And then even the 1 or 2 times a day, I don't really get to sit and enjoy my food. It's mostly like a rush. It's like I might, you know what I'm saying, eat a quick bite for breakfast, and then I may have lunch, and then I may have dinner, or I may have dinner, 1 of the 2, but it's usually never either both. It's usually one or the other. And then as far as the quality of food that I be eating, I gotta figure out a better way to pretty much like prep meals or figure out better food to bring on the road. I have been doing a little better with it though, because I finally got me like a little mini freezer. Let me see if I can show y'all real quick. Let me move this crap out the way. Yeah, so I finally got me and this thing is pretty straight. You know, it's not much, but it hold like a decent amount of food. Cause I'm only out here for a week every week, and it get all the way down to 20. Well, I can drop it lower than that, but I usually keep it around 29 degrees because I found out that'd be a good temperature. Like it keep it really cold, but it don't freeze everything all the way, especially when it's packed out. Now when there's less food in there, I usually keep it a little over 30 degrees. But that's one of the things I've been struggling with out here, is trying to figure out how to keep a pretty decent diet, because I noticed myself I should not just me, a lot of truck drivers out here just eat a lot of junk food, not only like chips and candy and stuff, just like quick junk food like hot dogs or pizza or wings, little stuff like that, which isn't always good for you. And me personally, I can tell my diet isn't good because I feel a little more sluggish. But doing a little better at it though. Usually I bring me like some chicken and some ribs or something like that I can heat up. But that's one of the things I got to figure out, how to get a better diet out here, because I really can't truly meal prep, because I get home on like Friday afternoon, Friday evenings, and I'm leaving out like Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. So it's not much time there to really throw a lot together and get proper rest and kick back or whatever. The next thing is working out. I know flatbedding is pretty physical work as it is, but it's still not like a real pumping and jam, to keep you straight. Before I got out here, I was probably about $1.85, $1.90 on a good day. Had a pretty decent muscle. Right now, I probably don't drop back down to like $1.75 and lost some muscle. So I got to figure out how to get me a nice workout plan out here going too. I know a lot of people say Planet Fitness, People recommend Planet Fitness as truckers, but hold on, this guy coming to unload me. We in on Friday trying to get it back home, boy. I'm surprised everything's still intact. It's time to pull on down to North Carolina. Y'all know what time it is. Yeah, it ain't going nowhere. Time to hit the road.